What's going on, y'all? It's D.A. Bourne, and this is the Blessed Opinion. You know what? I just wanted to talk about briefly about probably maybe the best Christian film that nobody has been talking about. Like nobody. I won't say nobody, but not a lot of people. I haven't heard a lot of feedback from this movie. But anyway, this movie that I'm talking about is the George Foreman movie. Big George Foreman. Yeah, that's it. Big George Foreman. Look, before it came out, I think it was in April 28th when it came out in theaters. Um, I was listening to sports radio and they were advertising this like every day, like multiple times a day. And it was, they were promoting it huge. But then when the day finally came that it was released, after that day, I didn't hear anything about this movie. I mean, literally, I hardly heard anything, and it wasn't a big box office smash, obviously. But then I finally saw it on live streaming when it was available, and I realized why after I watched it. Now, this movie is not labeled as a Christian movie, but there's so much Christian themes in it based on George Foreman's story that I understand why this movie was not promoted after it came out. I mean, I was just watching and I knew about George Foreman. If you don't know who George Foreman is, George Foreman, he was a former heavyweight champion of the world and he won it twice. He won it when he was young and in his 20s, and he lost it to Muhammad Ali, and he left the game after becoming a Christian, and I'm really paraphrasing now, but he started a church, he started a youth center, he started raising a new family and everything, and then he got into some financial trouble. His accountant messed him up, and he found himself back in the ring 10 years after he retired, and long story short, he became the oldest heavyweight boxing champion ever. And it was an amazing story. It's an amazing story. My only knock with this movie was that there was so much to it, and they try to cram it in 2 hours. And sometimes that's my pet peeve about some movies. They just try to cram too much in such a short span. It would have been a good series that you could span into 3 or 4 episodes. But anyway, this movie is good, and I think it's so underrated. I think because a lot of people, they want to watch a good Christian film, and you know they can't find one, or it's like too cheesy, or the acting is terrible, or the special effects and nothing. This was good. This was good. I mean, Big George Foreman, he played by Chris Davis. Forrest Whitaker's in the movie. It's a good film. Anyway, so I highly recommend you watch it. I think it's the best Christian film that nobody's talking about. But there was a point in there where a certain scene in the movie, and I don't want to give too much. I mean, you can always look up George Foreman's life and everything, but I don't want to give too much into the movie. But there was a point in where he's with his second wife, right? And he already announced that he's gonna go back into boxing. His wife wasn't on board, but then she got a dream, and it was a prophetic dream, and she said the Lord told her that her husband was going to be the heavyweight champion again. And it was, obviously she didn't want that, but she heard so loud and clearly from the Lord, and you know what? Guess what? It happened. It absolutely happened. It didn't happen without some challenges, obviously, and I don't want to get too much into the film, but it just showed me. I was just thinking of something this past weekend. When talk about having the fear of God, and I was listening to watching a video by John Bevere, and it said, when you fear God, if He tells you to do something, you should do it. And a lot of times, and this happens to me all the time. God will tell me to do stuff, and I just keep putting it aside, and I hesitate with doing it. And and it's something we shouldn't brag about, because we shouldn't hesitate to do what God tells us to do, even if it sounds weird, even if it sounds like, wow, you know what, even if you don't know what good results are gonna come out of it. But yeah, it just got me thinking of that movie as well. And that we when God has to tell us to do something, we should do it. And you know what, like, even making these videos, like, I wasn't ready to go to do no YouTube videos. As you see, I'm currently not wearing a mic yet. I was going to wear a mic, and I have one. It broke. I gotta take it back. I will get another one soon. But anyway, God just told me to just get started with the blessed opinion. I didn't want to go there yet. I wasn't ready. I'm busy. I got a wife and 4 kids and a full-time job where I work 6 days a week, and I write novels, and I had a lot on my plate. I do stuff. I serve at the church, and I do stuff. But he told me to do it, and I'm doing it. And I may not see the results as yet, but you know what? Can't hesitate on what God wants you to do. All right. But anyway, I didn't want to make a long video. I just wanted to say, hey, go check out Big George Foreman. It's streaming on wherever you watch your stuff. Like I said, I'm in Canada. I watch it on Crave. And in the US, I don't know. You'll find it. But I highly recommend you watch this movie. Like I said, it's not Oscar worthy, but in terms of good Christian themes and a nice story, because I love true stories, this is good. So check out Big George Foreman. And as always, subscribe to the Blessed Opinion. And I gotta emphasize this before I end this video. If you're watching this video, please press the like buttons. Please. Don't just watch it and move on. Press the like buttons. It helps with the algorithms. I'm sure you heard this before from other YouTube videos. Please do it. Please do it. It's the only way Blessed Opinion will get further and further to other people that I don't know of. And, so anyway, till next time. And also, if you haven't read a D.A. Bourne novel, go to Amazon, check them out. I'll leave the link down below. I am out. God bless. Peace.